Survive some of the scenes coming out of Japan, and to live to tell about it would be a miracle. And tonight we've learned that a Florida Atlantic University professor and his wife were caught in the middle of that calamity.
News Channel 5's Liz Flynn spoke with him about what he experienced firsthand. She continues our coverage of the tragedy in Japan with historian Liz. I really just can't imagine what this must have been like for him.
Absolutely, Jim. I mean, when you think about it, an earthquake, a tsunami, and now fears of a nuclear meltdown. Dr. Osgood is in Massachusetts tonight. He's working as a visiting professor there right now, but his heart and mind, he says, are very much on the minds of the Japanese people.
We were right outside of Mount Fuji, and all of a sudden the train comes to a slow stop. From 250 some odd miles an hour.
Dr. Ken Osgood and his wife Rachel, on their way from Kyoto to Tokyo, Japan, had no idea what was coming.
And then a few minutes later, the train starts rocking, and it feels like a boat on the tracks.
That rocking was from one of the most powerful earthquakes in history. They were stranded on the train with no power. Images on a few passengers' portable TVs provided only a hint at what was really happening.
It's one of those weird things where you're seeing it on a screen that's this big, and the announcer's talking in a language you don't understand. So we still had a very difficult time comprehending the magnitude of this thing.
Hours later, they made it to Tokyo, but the thriving city they had left now looked very different.
This slow mass of people, one guy we met had walked for 4 hours across the city because there was no other way, and he still had probably another 2 miles to go before he could get to his office building as a place to crash for the night.
The couple found shelter in a hotel lobby, but it was no refuge for more than 50 aftershocks.
At one point, the hotel staff was nice enough to let us take a shower, so I was taking a shower, and I didn't notice a darn thing, but my wife saw the whole room shaking in front of her and was deeply panicked by the whole thing.
More disturbing still, news that radiation was leaking from a nuclear reactor.
That sent my heart rate soaring, both of my wife and I, nearly into a panic, and we said, we got to get the hell out of here.
Miraculously, they were on a plane the next day, heading home.
And the only thing we could think about was our kids. And there were moments where I think each of us thought we might not see him again.
With 5-year-old Joseph and 2-year-old Verena back in their arms, their hearts turned back to the Japanese people.
People came up to us as if they were kind of embarrassed and said, I'm sorry that you got, and what they seemed to mean is, I'm sorry you have to experience our country during this terrible time.
Dr. Osgood told me it breaks his heart to think of all the people who weren't as lucky as he and his wife were. As they were trying to leave, they got as much of their cash as they could out of an ATM machine. They're donating all that money that they did not use to the Red Cross relief efforts. Liz Flynn, WPTV News Channel 5.